Good morrow, ladies and gentlemen, it is I, Jorge, and here I am with the latest thoughts of the Halo Infinite campaign that has been recently previewed by IGN and Game Informer. After watching these videos, I thought I would share further thoughts on what's been covered. More importantly, on what aspects will set Halo apart from other games within the open world genre, and one major concern. It is clear based on the videos that the story is being taken as top priority, but the enemy AI is now a growing concern of mine. So I'm going to split this video into two parts. First, I'm going to cover the enemy AI, and for a later video, I'm going to cover the campaign and share some thoughts I have about what IGN and Game Informer have said about the campaign. One of the many criticisms pertaining to Halo 4, and in some respects, Halo 5, happened to be the enemy AI. It was lackluster, a shadow of its former self compared to past iterations, especially after fighting the more aggressive AI in Halo Reach. Of course, there were a few notable exceptions, such as the Hunters and Grunts in Halo 5 being more aggressive and accurate with their aim. I mean, come on, the Grunts can now punch you in the face, and who can forget the Grunt Goblin? Probably one of the best bosses you can fight in the entire series. I'm not kidding! I know it's only in multiplayer, but still, the Grunt Goblin is so much fun, come on! Needless to say, it was certainly a step backwards, which was all the more disappointing considering how the AI in particular was celebrated in Halo Combat Evolved. So it's reasonable to question just how formidable the enemies of Halo Infinite will be, if they are even a threat to begin with. Unfortunately, these concerns are still being held based on the footage and comments shown from IGN and Game Informer. So much can be seen with these videos with how each species behave, with the brutes clearly being given the most attention compared to the rest of the species. So let's start off with some concerns I have with the AI. Starting with the Grunts and the Jackals. We can see both species coordinating with one another and providing support to the brutes and the elites. However, I did notice that their aim tends to be mixed. One moment their aim seems to hit the mark, and at other times, they seem to miss on purpose, especially when the player isn't even trying to avoid the shots altogether, but just happens to waltz right in front of them without any issue. They don't seem to melee anymore, as they have done so in Halo 5. Hunters and Elites are hard to comment, however, because we simply haven't seen enough of them to make a proper prediction on how they behave. So far, I have only seen the Elite Myers in a few brief seconds on the Hunters. Miranda Sanchez of IGN says that the Hunters are still fun to fight and the enemy's weapon variety hold up, but I can't help but be hesitant to accept that. Hunters seem to have lessened their aggression and the Elite Myers are not as agile as I had hoped. Maybe I am overthinking it, but I just don't see the Elites being as aggressive or as agile as I remembered or as I had hoped to be, especially after playing Halo Reach's Elites, which is in my opinion the best Elites. But here's hoping more footage will alleviate my concerns. Keep in mind, it was stated that Sanchez was playing the game in heroic difficulty. That is why I worry, because heroic is meant to bring a certain degree of challenge to returning players like myself. But of course, I am reserving complete judgment until I actually play the game. We just haven't seen enough to make a proper assessment. But not all of the enemies are distressed over when we have the brutes. The brutes have been the silver lining when concerning over enemy AI. These hairy bastards have become the most exciting species in the enemy ensemble. They strafe, dodge, evade, find cover, and flank whenever possible. And for added good measure, all of these tactics exhibited by the brutes are punctuated with aggression. Essentially, they appear to be the perfect mix of Halo 2 and Halo 3's brutes. Halo 2's brutes are overtly hostile and tend to be meat sponges. Meanwhile, the Halo 3 brutes lost their signature hostility and became insultingly predictable, resorting them to being easy to outmaneuver and kill. The infinite previews we have seen thus far have shown the brutes looking for cover, seeking vantage points with their jetpacks, using a wide assortment of weapons, including using what appears to be armor lock, and attacking the player with relentless force. These brutes are going to be fun to fight, and I can't wait to see more of them. On top of that, we have boss fights, and they appear to be a step up from the past Halo games, including the Bungie era. So it's a relief to hear Sanchez was having a difficult time defeating her first boss encounter, and having to use tactics and defeat the boss. A clear sign that the boss has been given dedicated time to be challenging and fun. Though I could go without the health bars, they are just not needed. But anyway, folks, what do you think? Do you think I made a fairly decent point, or am I just being over-analytical? Perhaps I am overthinking this, but needless to say, I am fairly optimistic over the campaign. This trickling down of information has pretty much made all of us overhyped for this game. I mean, can you blame us? This is a new Halo game that is going in a different direction, yet it is hitting so many marks that are familiar with us. It honestly blows my mind how well 343 is doing right now. And if you need a big indicator of how well 343 is doing, just look at the receptions around you. Well, those are my initial thoughts, guys, on the enemy AI. Hopefully my cautious optimism will be alleviated to full-on optimism. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys on the next one, especially with the